Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for Fun Fold Friday, July 31st, 2026. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lisa Cunningham and I'm an independent Stampin' demonstrator out of Rio Rancho, New Mexico. I've been doing this for 11 years. I've been with Stampin' Up! For 11 years now, and I enjoy creating and sharing my projects with you. So every Friday, I have a pre-recorded video for you at 12 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time, and then I do a live video every Wednesday at 6 o'clock p.m. in the evening. So you can always join me on my Facebook page or YouTube. So I have quite a bit of announcements today. First of all, if you're not on my email list and you want to get the tutorial, well, it's got the products I use and the measurements, just join my email list. I send these out every Friday morning. So if you're on my email list, you already got it. And then I also put the workshop Wednesday tutorial with it as well. So today we're making a fun fold, and this one has a belly band. And then look at how funny these dimensional backings, they get everywhere. And it opens like this. So it's, I don't know what to call this card. A double, I think I call it like a double gatefold, or not sure what to call it, but that's going to be today's project. But just a reminder, my August Let's Create kit. So what my Let's Create kit is, it's a monthly subscription. So you subscribe to it, and then every month I create 5 projects, usually 4 cards and a 3D project. I send you the materials. So 5 project packets, which would have the materials in there for you to create your projects. Other than like the designer series paper, you'll usually get like a half a pack, and then you'll have to cut that yourself. You'll need the bundle to create your projects, and any die cuts or anything that's not included in the bundle, I include that. So you usually get designer series paper and embellishment, ribbon, twine, whatever. So this month I'm using the Fun for Fall. So this is actually, registration for this one ends August 7th. So it's always, my registration ends at the 7th of the month, and then your kit is shipped by the 14th of the month. So you will need this bundle. You can always add the bundle, and I pay the tax and shipping from Stampin' Up!, and then I will just add it to your kit. So this month we have this adorable little treat box. These are our gable, but look, he's like sitting on the hay bales. So that's your 3D project for this month. Here is a gift holder card. It's got a gift card in it. Here is, I got all these in my bin. This is a fun fold. Look at how cute this one is. And this is like a congratulations. And as you can tell, we're using the In Color Gingham Gallery Designer Series paper. There's another card. And here's another. Super cute, this scarecrow. So those are your 4 cards and your 3D project. And then you will get a half a pack of this Gingham Designer Series paper. And I include all the cardstock for you to die cut all these pieces. Whatever is included, I include all that. You're going to get a package of the embellishment, like I said, and then also some linen thread this month. So I will have the link for you to subscribe to that below. And I don't know, is it too early for Halloween? Starting today, you can register for my Halloween treat package class. And this one, we're using the Oh My Fright bundle. Super cute as well. These are the die cuts. I always die cut mine so I could see what it consists of in the bundle. pick up this fell. So this one is going to be all treat packages. So I mean, a lot of people there's people who love Halloween. There's others who don't like Halloween. A lot don't send cards. I send cards to my grandkids, and I usually put some money in it so that they can get something besides candy. So this one, we got another treat box. This is a cutie. This is I'm using the Gable box in this class as well. And this is a treat package. So obviously I don't have Halloween candies, but these are some Laffy Taffies, but you can put the, like Hershey not the miniatures, the, I don't know, singles or whatever, those will fit in there, but this is kind of like a book type package. And then I have this goodie box that you can fit, I think it's like 1.5 inches wide by maybe 3 or 4. But you could put some goodies in there. And you know, it doesn't have to be candy. So speaking of not having candy, I made this cute little sanitizer holder. So it holds a hand sanitizer. And there is this cute little triangle box. These will fit like Ferrero Rochers and other candies. You could put probably a hand lotion, again, if you don't want to do candy, but this is a cute box. And so in this class, you're going to get the designer series paper. I think it's called Frightfully Fun. You're going to get a spool of this basic black iridescent ribbon, and then these fun ghosts, bats, and dots. And so there's 3 options for this class. So if you want it all, which it includes the bundle, your project packets, both, actually you get a PDF tutorial with step-by-step instructions. On my Let's Create class, I always do a video tutorial. So there will be a link on your PDF that has a video tutorial, and you can watch me put the projects together. This class doesn't have a video tutorial, but so if you want the bundle, your 5 project packets, all your product, and the PDF tutorial, and a special gift from me, it's $92.50. And again, that's because it's including this adorable bundle. The second option is just the class kit with all of the above, the designer series paper, the bats and ghosts, the spool of ribbon, a gift from me. That one is $45. And both of them, again, they include shipping. I'll ship it to your door. I do have boxes where I can keep your designer series paper at 12 by 12. And then the third option for $15 is just the PDF tutorial. If you already have all your stuff and you want to put it together yourself, you can go ahead and just get the PDF tutorial. All right, so this registration ends actually August 20th. This is like a big window because, you know, I'm out of town and I'm going out of town, and then for me to be able to put the packets together and everything, I just wanted to get a head start, and we have plenty of time for Halloween, but I wanted to get a jump start on this one. All right, so I think that is it. Let's go ahead and turn you down and get started. Thanks again for joining me. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with today's project. We are going to use the hot foil system. So mine has kind of got faded because this card has been tossed around, touched, and this is one I had did earlier, but I'm going to show you how to do it. And actually, I need to grab a piece of Peaceful Pine cardstock. I forgot to grab that, but I'm going to show you how to use the hot foil system first. We're going to go to that step. So this is the hot foil plate. This is the silicone mat that this goes on, and we're gonna plug it in. I have my plug over here to the side, but this is magnetic. Watch how it'll just go right in. So that's what it's gonna do. So now it's gonna heat up, and it's gonna heat up for like 6 minutes. So while that is heating up, I'm gonna move it aside, and let's do some of our cuts. So if you're on my email list, you already got this this morning. If not, here are the measurements. I had to add some there. You could go ahead and take a screenshot. So this is actually 2.5 by 3.5 of the Peaceful Pine, and then 2.5 by 3.5 of the silver foil, which is the foil that we use with the hot foil system. So I didn't know what to call this card. It has a belly band. I called it a double, I don't know, a double fold. It's, I don't know, it sits up and you have this little piece and the other piece, and I don't know, it's just a fun fold card. I just didn't know what to call it. So you're gonna need 12-inch cardstock. So we have the Daffodil Delight. I'm gonna see, this isn't a 12. I have a bunch of scraps. I've been using a lot of 12 by 12 two-tone cardstock. So your piece is going to be 12 by 5.5. So this is 12, and we're going to cut it at 5.5. And if my thing over there beeps, we're going to jump over to the hot foil. Actually, I should cut the hot foil. So I'm storing my foil in one of these old containers. Sorry, I'm gonna skip over. And I'm cutting this at like 2.5. Is that what I said? Yeah, 2.5. Because once we put our, once our machine's ready, we wanna use it. We don't wanna sit. So this is 2.5. I'm not sure actually the width of it, but I didn't want to use any excess foil. So this is the old wood case that I'm keeping mine in for right now. And so I'm going to cut a piece of Peaceful Pine, the same, I think 2.5. I'm going to cut it 2.5 by 3.5 because I want to just get that piece of the die that we're going to use. So we're going to use the Classic Greetings hot foil dies, and we're going to use Happy Birthday. So this is going to be the one we're going to foil, and then this is the one we're going to die cut with. So I'm just afraid that's going to beep, and then we're going to have to jump over there. So back to this was 12 by 5.5. And we're going to score it at 2, 4, 8, and 10 on the long side. So 2, 4, 8, and 10. And then we need our little card inside. I'm 3.5 by 8, so I don't think this is 3.5. Nope, it's like 3. So I do have another 3.5 by 8. That's what I said, right? 3.5 by 8. I'm getting distracted with the hot foil. 3.5 by 8. And then we're going to score it at 1, 2.5, 5.5, and 7. I didn't want to call this a double gatefold because technically it's not a double gatefold. So these are our two pieces. Now we can cut our designer series paper. So I'm using the Velvet Meadow designer series paper, gorgeous paper. So we're gonna cut the inside. This is the inside center. Let me see. I got my own little measurements over here. Inside center is 3 7/8 by 5 3/8. So we want this big floral pattern. So 5 3/8 by 3 7/8. Just that's going to give us that big floral background. And then on our mini card, we're going to use the same, and it's going to be 2 7/8. So by 3 3/8. So 3 3/8 this way. And then let's go 2 7/8 that way. Okay, so you guys just heard the hot foil system. I'm gonna bring this back in, and now I'm gonna use my happy birthday die, and you're gonna put it the flat side down, just like so. And then now we're gonna press this white button, and then that is going, the yellow is going to flash. So I'm gonna show you the instructions. So place the die flat side down on the platform and press the white timer button. The platform beeps and the yellow light flashes while the die heats up approximately 1.5 minutes. The white timer button and the red light stay lit. When ready, the platform beeps again, the green light turns on, and all the lights will be lit. Okay, and then we're gonna make our sandwich. So then I'll show you how to make the sandwich. I've seen a lot of people kind of do some different things where theirs hasn't worked correctly. So please, if you get this, if you make this investment into this machine, it's gorgeous. It wasn't on my list at first, but then of course I had to have it. So just follow the instructions and you can't go wrong. So we got about 1.5 minutes. So what other paper? We're gonna cut our sides of our papers, and I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna move this aside again, and watch, our timer's probably gonna go off. So this is gonna be 1 7/8. And, oh, see, I guess that's, I mean, I don't want you guys sitting around. So we're gonna put the foil onto our die, and you're gonna put the shiny side down, like so. Then you're gonna put your cardstock right over it, and shoot, I hope I'm not messing it up because I'm moving around. Okay, your cardstock, and then we're gonna put the hot foil shim. This one right here says shim, hot foil shim. This is gonna go down, and then your hot foil spacer, just like so. Easy, right? Okay, so now I'm gonna move this out of the way because we need our cut and emboss machine. So we're gonna use our cut and emboss machine with no plates on it, because this, I'm gonna unplug it. This whole platform goes right into the cut and emboss machine. Try not to move this. And then we're just gonna roll it through. They say not to go like back and forth because you can get foil. And I'm gonna put this back on my silicone mat. It's not hot to the touch, but it does get warm. Actually, let me move this back over here so you can see it. We're gonna, so this is gonna come off, and then we're just gonna peel this right off. And yep, I messed it up because it was moving. That's my fault. I messed it up. But luckily enough, we have my backup one I did earlier. And then there's this tool that it'll pick up your magnet, your die, because it's hot. And then there's another silicone mat. Press the button and it comes off, and it can sit there and cool. So that's pretty much how you use it. I messed it up because you guys seen my stuff moving around. So a lot of people have been using this negative space as well. I don't know how they do it. I haven't looked, but this isn't gonna work since I messed it up. But it would have came out. It's just, I'll use that back side. So don't throw that away if you make a mistake. Hopefully you don't do what I did. But that's pretty much how the hot foil system works. It's pretty cool. The foils I showed you, they're gold, silver, and pink. So very pretty foils. And those were the only dies that I had bought right now. So let's get back to our card making. But I just wanted you to see, let me get those measurements back in there for you, how the hot foil system works. So we need 4 pieces of 1 7/8 by 5 3/8 Velvet Meadow DSP, but I want 2 each of 2 different patterns. So this is the one pattern, and 1 7/8 by 5 3/8, and then 5 3/8. I hope I didn't discourage you from the hot foil system because I messed mine up. But what is my other pattern inside? I can't remember what pattern I did the what kind of berry burst color. I think this one will work. And again, 1 7/8. What would you guys call this card? Comment below. Let me know what you would call it. I didn't want to call it, like I said, a double gate fold. So 5 3/8, 1 7/8 by 5 3/8, because it's technically not a double gate fold. It's kind of like a little, I don't know. All right, so we will cut the belly band later. Let's get back to figuring out this card. So with two-tone cardstock, you can use whatever side you want. So I use the darker side on the outside and the lighter side on the inside. So with the darker, these are gonna fold in and out. Get my bone folder. So Mountain Valley, and then out and in, and this is the piece that we cut. I told you it was for the center. That is going to go right inside there. So let's glue that. Just so you know, you want to decorate your inside first, because once we put our little, I'm calling it a mini card. Once we put our mini card on, it'll be way too hard to decorate. All right, so we're gonna put these guys on these edges here. Now, I don't know, do you guys think this card is way too busy? Too much? This, this designer series paper is so pretty. And I thought maybe, okay, maybe I went too much on designer series paper. And I would have liked to use like the more subtle, but I didn't want to cover up that velvet. It's way too pretty. Okay, so there is that card. Now we're gonna do our mini, and our mini's gonna go the same way. And again, I'm calling it a mini card. And so what I did, oops, did I do that wrong? The heck did I do? That one, and then, oh, did I go way? I did way too much is what I didn't do the right score line. Okay, there, I was. So this is gonna go here. This is where I messed up. I'm like, jibber jabbering and not paying attention to what I'm doing. So this kind of matches our center here, kind of matches the center there. And then we're gonna add some white pieces here because I wanted you to be able to add your message. So I'm gonna get the white cardstock, basic white, and we are going to 1 3/8 by 3 3/8. So let's go 3 3/8 by 1 1/8. No, 1 3/8. 1 3/8. These are small, but you can write a message, or you can always put some basic white cardstock on the back to add some messages. So we're gonna add these ones here to add your little message. I have ink all over my fingers because I've been doing a lot of creating. Put this one here. Okay, so we can decorate our center inside after. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna lay this down like so to glue it. So you could center it. We're gonna add some glue to this section. And I kind of hold it over the flap like so. And then we're gonna do the same on this side. And we wanna adhere these first because we're gonna cover this up with designer series paper. We're gonna add those other ones that we cut. These right here. We're gonna add these to cover up where we just added these. Like so. Again, is this like way too much designer series paper going on? I absolutely love this paper. You know, I've been finding myself saying that a lot. If you're following my blog, I'm just like, oh, I love this, I love that, I love that. I love a lot of these. Honestly, when I did my paper shares, I was like, oh my gosh, these papers are gorgeous. All right, so there is our double, can't even call it a Z, maybe a W if we went this way. Not even a M, I don't know. So there is that, but now we're gonna do some die cutting. So I gotta get my cut and emboss machine again. But I need my plates. Back to the plates. We're gonna cut out, this is the second to the largest stylish shape square. This is the Nested Essentials, what's second to the smallest hexagon. And we're cutting both of them out in cloud cover. I wanted to pull the cloud cover out from that designer series paper we're using in the front. Put these over here. And I guess what I should have did is even though I messed this up, look, I should show you that there is the die for it. And this is gonna be messed up, but they have the die cuts. And just show you, although I knew it when I knew I moved it, but I was afraid if I picked it up, I was gonna make it worse since the die was hot. So it'll cut it out like that, as you've seen with my extra one I have, but those dies are great. Love a sentiment die. All right, so back to our card. So we're gonna stamp this one, and I'm using the Sending Salutations stamp set. And where is the one? To a marvelous person on their birthday. And do I have that? I do. And we are going to use Peaceful Pine ink and stamp right in the center of this square. To a marvelous person on their birthday. And we are using, where did I lose? I know they're in here. My Dreamy Flowers. And we're going to add a couple to this sentiment. I'm going to just add a little one and a big one, like so. And we're going to put this in the center of our center with some dimensionals. Just like so. And so you can lay your card flat and write your note here, and then lay it flat this way and write your note there. You can still fill it out. So then that is that. So now we're going to create our belly band. And our belly band, we are using 1.5 inches by 9. So let me see what cardstock I have here. 9. Do we have one shorter than 9? No, this is 12 as well. Okay, so 1.5 by 9. Is that right? 1.5? No, I have 1.5, but this is thicker than 1.5. My ruler, I bet you it's 2. Yep, 2. 2, 2, 2. I'll have to change that measurement. So let's go back, cut 2. Why do I have 1.5? 2 by 9. I will definitely fix that. So even when you click on it on my link, you'll get it, it'll update. If you if you're on my email list and you click on the link again, it'll update it. So, oops, I was gonna move that out of the way. This is where we're at now with the belly band. So, fold our card in, and it is like a gatefold, but just so that we can do our belly band, I'm going to hold that with a clothespin. So what I like to do is pretty much fold it over to the center. I wonder if we go there. And then I just kind of smush it down and then bring it over and smush it down. So you don't have to put score lines or anything like that. We'll put some liquid glue. I could straighten this out. And then just put this over and hold it. And normally, depending on your die cut that you use, a lot of times you can cover up that seam. So we're going to tie some Berry Burst ribbon around and tie a bow. This Berry Burst ribbon is so pretty. Let me get my extra set of hands right there to hold that. This is such gorgeous ribbon. And just tie a nice bow. And my ribbon scissors. Finish that off like so. We had already die cut our, I gotta take that off. We had already die cut our hexagon, but we can put that on with some dimensionals. And what are your guys' thoughts on the hot foil system? Even though I messed it up, you're not going to mess it up. If you decide to make that investment, it definitely is an investment, but man, does it make a wow on your cards. If you don't like this seam here, let's change this up real quick. You could put it in the back. I didn't like the way it looked, so we'll put it in the back where you don't see it. And then we can put our bow back on. I am always changing things up, aren't I? We'll put our bow. I gotta be happy with the way it looks. And then move this over to the side, and we are back on track. But now look, no seam. So we're gonna put our hexagon right on in the center. And then our good happy birthday, not our bad. You could probably trim around that and use happy. And we are going to put this on. Look, you could tell on my other one, I was practicing and trying out the machine. I'm using it pretty much just now as I've showed you when I created my card. And we'll just stick that right on there like so. And then now we're gonna use some more of those dreamy dreamy flowers. And we're gonna add our berry burst. We'll add one here, one on our tag, and then a bigger one over here. And if you want, you could add more. It's up to you. But that is our card, and I'm so sorry that I messed up. Oh, look, we're backwards here. And this part thing, I'm not sure if that's a common thing. I have to look into that. Oh, my bow's on the opposite side. But however you want. If you're a righty, it's on the right. If you're a lefty, it's on the left. But that is our fun fold card for today. Thank you so much for joining me. Sorry I had the mishap on my hot foil, but you know what? I'm going to be doing some more projects with you using that, and you can see that I will do better. All right, everybody, take care and have a great weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.